Well, here we are again. Welcome to Meet the Author Monthly. Today is another great conversations with the lovely ladies, Nikki and Sally. So welcome. How are you doing today, ladies?
We're
Great.
good.
Fantastic. So, this is a space where stories are honored, voices are welcomed, and the journey behind the pages matters just as much as the book itself. So, whether you're here as an author, an inspiring writer, or someone who simply loves meaningful stories, you're in the right place. And I want to actually share something. Just past weekend, I had my first book signing of the year. So it was really fun to do it all over again. I had all my books, and actually, they did so well this time. And my daughter had her stuff. She did really well too. Met some actually local authors as well. So it was really, really nice to be in that spotlight again, to talk to people once again, because over Christmas I don't do it as much. So yeah, so I had all my books with me. Sorry. Ugh, they're piling up. It used to be just one. Now it's like four or five moving on. So I just want to share that. So yeah, so you
So,
guys,
Ava, why don't you
yes.
talk to us about that? Like, why did you decide to get into book signing?
Well, books open doors, don't they? So it was one thing I thought, why
Absolutely.
not? It's another way to meet other people, connect with them. You never know who you're gonna run into, who you can help, because sharing stories is not just like putting it on there and you're done with it. You deep down, you're hoping that the stories we share, yours, mine, and so on, that they will help somebody. And it's nice that people reach out. Like last year too, I had Never Give Up, and it was really funny because that one day, it was that one book that really sparked people's attention. It was like they were going through something and they wanted to reach out and talk about it. Whereas this time it was more like the ripple effect. People wanted to know how they can reach out, do other things, whatever they're doing. So, one day, one story, another day, another. And I love that because I can reach more people, talk to them, inspire them. And like this gentleman I talked to on the weekend, he has one book, but he's like, I'm so glad I run into you because it inspires me to continue. Because I was like, yeah, keep going. Because you could see he was hesitant about a few things, but we talked in more detail. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I said, I better see you here next month or month after that with your book. He's like, okay, okay, I'll do it. So it inspires you to do more just as much as inspires them to do even more with their life. So that's one reason why I love doing the book signings. It's a lot of fun.
Now, Sally, you do book signing also, but this is you have written your own children's book, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Uh,
And
why
I,
did you go into books? Why did you go into book signing and go into the
I
bookstores and to the fairs and
yeah, well, I think, kind of what you talked about before we got on, you talked about, the getting your read
strict?
magnets, right? And
Yeah.
connecting with other people and getting their information. Because now if you do a local book signing, like I did, I have my children's book. So I've done these with my children's books. And I always have a little sheet and say, if you want to get on my email list, sign up. And I always get people to register to sign up. And then I go home and I just add them to my list. But 3, 4, or 5 months ago, when I released my next children's book, I can email all those people and say, "Hey, my book is out. You liked the first one, or I talked to you at an event. Um, would you be interested in checking this out or buying this one? Or, here's the link to it." So it's a way of communicating with your readers, number one, and it's a
Yeah.
way of nurturing those relationships and getting people's names and email addresses so you can connect with them. And I think that's really important as an author is to have that list of people who enjoy reading your writing.
Okay, so now I want to ask both of you, one at a time. Each, I want to ask your short story, like the evolution of Ava, I watched you and I know your evolution. I know it's a really cool story. And I've known you, Sally, for a couple of years now. I know you have a really cool story. But from the minute you were approached to do a book to the evolution of your having this maturity and this integrity in public, going out in public and selling your book, like talk about who you were then and the little evolution you had and who you are now because somebody presented this opportunity to you. Okay,
Maybe.
Ava, you go first.
And I was gonna go, Sally, you go first. Um, well, first you think it's not possible, because you maybe never done it, and then somebody like Nikki opens the door for you, invites you into this, yes. So thank you. And you get that spark, and then you get that that little push and nudge, and then you do it. And at first it's a little scary, you know, amongst other things, but then you do the next one, the next book, you get hooked on it, and then you see how much you've grown through the process, and you see how much not only fun it is, but how much you're changing people's lives. You become, fulfilled. Like, it's fulfilling, it's growth, personal growth, and it's proof that we're definitely capable of doing a lot more than we give ourselves credit for sometimes, you know. So at this point you just keep going, and the next things that come up, they're not so bad. We just have to try and do that next thing. You never know where it's gonna lead us. And Sally, I love your children's books. And do you have the little mascot to show us, or you don't have it nearby? It's so
Oh, now he's
cute.
in my car. I don't have him with me.
Oh, it's
So
so
I just
cute.
want to say about Ava. I knew Ava because we've gone through certification courses together, and not just one. So we've grown up together, so to speak, in the industry. And subtly, we've had to understand our growth, who we are, how to grow the business. And like Sally mentioned, there's a strategic lead magnet method to this and a networking that comes to this. And I watched Ava go from an individual who was thinking about herself and who she is and how she went, when I presented the question to her, you could see inadequacies, and you could see because I said it as an open-end question, which as a salesperson you never should, right? Because the answer is going to be no. But she did think of the no questions and she overcame it. She did her first book and then the evolution came and she found who she was. So in a small business, when you're looking at strategic lead magnets and a method to network and a way to grow your business, she just flowed naturally into who and what she was. Where when I presented the question to her at first, she had no idea this is who she was going to be, all these years down the line.
Yeah, like a deer in the headlights, you would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember meeting Sally, and she was a little bit in the beginning. She was my mentor, and she was my coach, and she was a little bit of my heart at one point when I was starting. But you can see she had already dipped her toe in there. She had understood, the evolution. She understood the power of growing your business through this kind of strategy. And her heart was so gentle and so nice that I had the confidence, Ava had the confidence, and now Sally, with her magic that she does and she puts out, what do you have, 26 books?
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, or more.
Okay, so talk to us, girls. Sure.
Well, I'll tell you, the person that I was 6 years ago, I mean, I don't even know that person anymore. My
Right.
world, my world was so small. it was just my family and friends locally. I had, I got up, I went to work, I came home, I cleaned the house, I made dinner, and I got up the next day and did it all over again. And there, I had no, connected with my parents and my brothers and family and friends here, and that was it. Like the whole rest of the world to me was doing their own thing and was just, I wasn't connected to it. Um, and this, saying yes to my first book, that was back in October of 2020, opened up everything for me. And I'm not saying that it just happened. I worked my butt off. I mean, I
Yeah.
was getting up in the middle of the night to do, to work with Linda, who was in California, because she wasn't available during the day. And I would be up till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, or getting up early to talk to somebody in India or whatever. I was getting up and working, but um it changed everything for me.
But
That
you're also getting exposed where you would have never been exposed before, or you've never would have traveled into a conversation with somebody in India where
right.
you would,
I mean, it was and like I said, the person that I was totally different. I mean, so it really, I remember the first time um I got interviewed. I mean, I had never been on camera before. I had never been interviewed before. I had never interviewed anybody before. Um, I remember one time I was on a phone call with Linda and I said to her, I've never gone live. I had gone live, but it was just, I turned my camera on and showed someone singing. And that was my live. It wasn't me, it was showing somebody else. Um, and she was like, what do you mean you've never? I mean, at that point, she had done like 5,000, selfies and live videos and stuff. I said, I have never in my life gone live on Facebook. And the next, we're on Zoom here, and the next thing I know, she's like, all right, we're live on Facebook. And I have Sally. Sally, introduce yourself and tell people who you are. And, and she went right live on her Facebook page. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then she had us, we did a thing where we were teaching people how to write, because we had published it, that we started publishing books. We had done, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 books at one point. And she's like, we're going to teach a course on how to write and publish your book. So she would say to me, all right, you're going to teach this part because this is what you do. I had never taught online before. I had never spoken like this on a video before. Um, so it was all new to me, and it was all a huge learning curve. And um, I would go. I There was a guy who did these monthly meet and greet, like Zoom meetings, and
yeah.
so he would put us all in. He would do like these breakout rooms, and he would say, "All right, I'm going to put four. We're going to do 4 people in a room. Just go around and introduce yourself to everybody." And then come back at 20 minutes, and then he'd do you'd go into 4 different people. It was just a way to connect, make connections and whatever. So I would go to those just so I could learn how to introduce myself. And every time I would go into a room, I would try it differently and see what people liked, what I did, and what stories I told that. And I did this for almost like a year and a half, 2 years. Would go
Now,
every month,
now
you know,
this Sally is all through mostly compilation books, right?
all through compilation. I didn't do my first book until a year ago, a year and a half ago. And that was my children's book. And that was funny too, because Linda told me, I've been getting a lot of inquiries about children's books. Would you just do some research on it? And so I started researching it. And I said, I have a couple of stories that I wrote when my daughter was little, I'd like to make into a book. And so I just created the book, but I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my husband. I didn't tell Linda. I didn't tell anybody. And finally, one day I said to her, I kind of created my own little, book. And she's like, you did? Let me see it. So, I mean, but
Oh
that's
yeah,
kind of,
it's gone once you show
yeah,
Linda.
yeah. But, that's kind of been my process has been, you know, uh, just stepping out and doing things that I'm scared about, um and just figuring it out as I go along, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I think that compilation books really are the answer, and although we aren't talking about it directly, this is a very strategic manner of growing, of um, of marketing your business. Because right off the bat, you don't have the year or 2 years to do an adult book. You can talk right on the subject that is pertinent right now or pertinent to your business. And how long does it take to produce the compilation book, Sally?
From
With
start to finish?
with 30 of us.
Oh, it depends. I mean, sometimes it's like herding cats trying to get everybody's story, and then getting them to approve it and write it and submit it. And that's what takes the longest is just getting everybody's story. And then once we have the story, all the stories in, and they're all edited and they're all approved, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks to put everything together because we got to put all the chapters together, then we got to format it,
Yeah.
and then we got to add the cover design and you know do all that stuff, and that takes a good 4 to 6 weeks,
Yeah.
working on that.
And during that, we as businesses, Ava and I have learned to become a little smarter here, and we've learned to strategically advertise or strategically state, hey, we're going to be in a book, and we start getting that evolution and that energy going. We start networking with the ladies or the people that we're in a compilation book with. Our business simultaneously takes a shift. It's strategically crazy smart to do. Both ladies are nodding here, and it's a smart thing to do. All of us have our own projects, as well as working with Linda and Sally, Sally is the co-producer and is the co-owner of the company, in which we found that is the best publishing tool and business that you can come across. You really have to be careful with some of these places, because their interests won't quite align with you, and it might cause a little bit of hardship. It might cause friction. It might cause things that don't quite suit your dynamics or your character. And I can tell you right off the bat, uh, as you could see, your heart's probably already stolen by Sally. And Linda's the perfect partner with Sally. So if you're thinking about doing a compilation book, or I would like to say, think about doing a compilation book and talk with Sally. Sally and Linda have a lot of compilation or opportunities. Ava and I are in that group that she speaks about as far as opportunity is concerned. I have 3 books in compilation projects that I'm looking to find writers for. Ava has 2 books. Her focus right now is going into one because she's generating that gung-ho energy and she's getting off onto that road and path. And the herding cat sometimes is a little bit of energy. And Sally, if we don't have a topic for you, Ava and I, Sally does. And Sally will find a place for you. This is a smart method of doing business. I can tell you, my investment is shared with like 30 other women. My marketing, a lot of the marketing is generated simultaneously with the help and the energy of the publishing house and others. And I capitalize on the marketing, and I do the best I can with choosing how to go about with strategic lead generating and business growing. And I can tell you, honestly, I could write it down, I could give it to you, and I could sign it, and I sell every time my book comes out. My sales go up. I know I could count on a certain volume of sales because I've learned my niche, I've learned my method, I've learned my go forward, and doesn't only serve me, the compilation books don't only serve me personally, but they serve me well in business and they give me a satisfaction that is whole and that is completely encompassing because it covers me from personality, like from soup to nuts. I'm fulfilled, I'm happy. It causes energy, generates fulfillment. It moves me closer to who I am and who I want to continue to be. It's very fulfilling. Is there anything you can add to that about what it does for you ladies?
Sally, you first.
Well, I love that. And I think that, a lot of times uh, we think that our stories don't matter. Um,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of times just the ordinary stuff that we go through are the things that people connect with. And so if you're thinking, well, I don't have anything to write about, or I don't know what I would, what I would talk about in a compilation book, sometimes just the simplest thing is the thing that people are going to connect you with. Um, so I think that a lot of times we think that we can't, or we shouldn't, or but this is your permission to, yeah, to step forward and just do it. And we have a lot of great books that we're looking for authors for, or you could write a solo book. And another thing I wanted to say, which you guys, once the book is published, we hand the rights to your chapter back to the author, so you could actually take your chapter and upload it as its own little ebook up on Amazon or whatever, and sell it yourself as your own story. You could give it away at yeah, speaking engagements, or to your family and friends, or whatever. Put it at for
Really
99 cents.
smart.
Here, read my story. Or a way for people to connect with you. So, I mean, that's just another thing that you can do with your chapter or with your story to engage people.
Yes.
Eva?
Ava?
Um, yes, definitely. It just proves you over and over again that we are capable of doing so much in this world, and sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit. We shy away, we don't take those steps. I have people, same thing as you said, Sally. Well, I'm not sure, if I have a story. We all do have some kind of story. I mean, not everybody on the planet is gonna publish a book or a story, but the people that are sitting there on the fence, like Sally said, just do it, because you never know whose life it'll change or transform or help in whatever way it needs to. So, um, it's just so clear to me now, like we gotta stop being so afraid of, doing new things. And just before this, like what, 5 years ago, I never thought I would be stepping into what I'm doing now. And again, it proves that we can train ourselves to do new things, start a business, start books, write, I have no idea what I'm gonna be doing 5, 10 years from now, but I bet you it's gonna be something amazing, or who knows, right? But it's just being open to those possibilities and exploring, because life's too short. I see so many people sitting there, and 5 years, 10 years, and it's like, well, did you do it? Oh no, I didn't do it yet. And then they miss the point sometimes. So that's it for my side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's a good point. So anybody who's thinking about this, don't let yourself miss the point. As Ava has said, we'd love to have you with us. There's nothing but an upside to this, honestly. None of us have experienced the downside.
Yeah.
So books may have an ending, but stories live on through the people they touch. When you choose to share your voice, your experience, and your truth, you don't just create words on page, you actually create impact. So remember that. We are here for you. All the contact will be posted in the video, so reach out to us. We are here for you. So thank you so much for watching today, and we wish you all a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.